Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Apocalypse Movies. My name is Gio, and I am joined by Mr. Keith Barnes, and we're going to give our thoughts on the Suicide Squad. This will be a non-spoiler review, so don't worry if you haven't seen it yet. I've seen it twice, but we're going to share some of our thoughts. We both saw the movie last night in an
Yes.
advanced screening. Keith, I'll go to you first. You heard about this movie, James Gunn, going from Marvel to DC as a result to a controversial topic that happened years ago. But nevertheless, Warner Brothers, they gave him full creative control, all the resources that he wanted. And so we saw the trailers. The trailers were hit and miss. You saw the movie last night. Tell the audience what you told me after watching James Gunn's R rated The Suicide Squad.
Well done.
Hey!
Well done, James Gunn. Well done, everybody in charge for letting James Gunn make his James Gunn movie. This is very much a James Gunn movie. Exactly what you would expect from him with this property. Just super weird and crazy and funny and over the top and well done. Well done. I loved this movie. Just loved it. It's you can see that there obviously with Guardians of the Galaxy there has to be like a certain kind of earnestness, because those guys are here. Star-Lord's a hero,
Right.
Rocket, Groot, all those guys, they're all heroes, and he did that very well as well. I mean, those are both. Right. I found myself thinking more, comparing it more to that than to the 2016 Suicide Squad. And by the way, this is a totally different movie. It's completely. You don't need to see that one at all to watch this at all.
Yes.
If anybody's concerned about that, and so we don't need to go there. But yeah. But with this movie, you can tell the differences like between Guardians and this. Like they let James Gunn go ham on this one and do right. And hey. For better, there's maybe like one or two parts that were really silly.
There's going to be some moments where you're going to go, "Oh,
yes.
they went
there." Yeah. But it's hilarious. I love the characters. I think this is the best we've seen of Harley Quinn, in my opinion.
Yes, agreed.
And she's been pretty good in just about all the things she's been in. But this I think is the best. And yeah, I mean, I love this movie. I think it's great. I really do.
How did James Gunn do it? Seriously, I mean, let's just start with the ensemble, okay? Like, so many characters, and he gives all of them their moment. They have a moment in there, whether it's a line of dialogue that works well with the audience or an action sequence like Harley Quinn. You teased it. We saw a little bit of it in the trailers with the roses, and not the roses, the flowers, and all that kind of stuff. It is truly insane, but in a very good way. To your point, there's heart, there's humor, there's a little bit of horror in there. I mean, I thought about Slither in a couple moments. I was like, oh,
right.
But you know what? Like, it's James Gunn unleashed. And while there might be some things that are a little bit overboard for you, for every one of those, you're going to find 3, 4, 5 things that you love about this movie. I mean, he did really on paper a very colossal task. He pulled it off. He really did. And then you have Starro, the Conqueror, a kaiju starfish that somehow,
which is so weird,
he got me to kind of sympathize with. Not a straightforward generic bad guy or bad creature. What were your thoughts on Starro the Conqueror? Non-spoiler.
I was very curious how that was going to come across. First of all, looked great. Looked really good. Because Starro's it's a big starfish. Like, it's a silly character. But he made it. But you know what? So is Groot and Rocket. Yeah, he just James Gunn is good at taking these weird characters and making them work. Yeah, it's so bizarre, I guess. But yeah, Starro was really good. And being the main, like I said, not spoiling, but that's the main kind of, I guess, main villain, pretty much. But when it gets there, it's pretty spectacular and like I said, and crazy and gross and it's just mayhem. But it was very well done. I thought he did a good job with it. Did a good job with that.
Yeah, and the build up to that really focuses on the characters,
right,
and their
right
interactions. Their struggles. Definitely with Polka Dot Man, which, I mean, again, how, James Gunn, did you do it? Polka Dot Man. Just
exactly
the powers. David Dastmalchian, I think that's
his name. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, did a great job, but it was.
And they actually call him Polka Dot Man.
The Polka Dot Man, yeah,
they addressed that. That's his name.
They're like, what? Oh, big standout, Peacemaker, John Cena's Peacemaker. Absolutely. Now I know why they greenlit a Peacemaker series like that. They must have been looking at the dailies and being like, "Oh, this is great, James Gunn. I knew you were the guy." Yeah. But your thoughts on John Cena's Peacemaker? I mean, the humor, the drama.
He's exactly like. Again, it's a character where, obviously we're not spoiling, but certain things happen leading up to, and you see, okay, this is how he is, and then when you get to a certain point near the end, it's believable, and you're kind of like understand why he's making the decision that he makes,
right?
And because that's what he would do, and you kind of be honest, it made me think of it like he's obviously is a rated R version of Steve Rogers, obviously, right? Like he's he's everything. If Steve Rogers was kind of a jerk, but also very patriotic and loyal, this is what he would be.
John Cena, before the movie came out, he described him, and I remember this, a douchey, broy Captain America.
Okay, so there you go. That's exactly what he is.
To the T. Wow. But you know what? Like the Ratcatcher 2.
Yeah.
Wow. Idris Elba's Bloodsport. I mean, Idris Elba, so happy for him. He's great as Heimdall. He's great, but I felt like
so good.
There was something more that he could offer, and James Gunn gave it to him. The returning cast, Harley Quinn, you mentioned. Rick Flag, Colonel Rick Flag. What's his name? Joe Kinnaman. Captain Boomerang.
Joe Kinnaman was great in this.
Yeah. They have their moments. It's just, wow. And Viola Davis, maybe the most perfect. I mean, we talk about Henry Cavill's Batman and Ben Affleck's Batman, Henry Cavill's Superman. But you think about Viola Davis as Amanda Waller and Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. Like, those castings do not get talked about enough. And James Gunn, you could tell he was so excited to finally be able to play with these kind of characters.
What a stroke of luck. Yeah, King Shark. And Stallone is so good. So good. It's another character that's totally ridiculous. But came across really well in this and very funny and a lot of heart, like you said, and you really really feel for him. And just what a stroke of luck. Like, obviously, just what happened with James Gunn initially for him to be in this position was, we don't need to get into that, but just the fact that Warner Brothers immediately said, all right, come make our movie. And then he gets hired to do Guardians 3 anyway, so we're going to get both. So it's worked out perfectly. And so I can't wait for Guardians 3, but I really hope he comes back to do another one of these. I really do.
Because
this movie's
that say that DC Films president Walter Hamada said he will be back. He didn't specify.
Perfect.
But he said he will be back. So, hey, they talk about capitalizing on an opportunity. I'm very critical about Warner Brothers, but I will give them credit for this one. So there you have it, guys. Our non-spoiler thoughts on the Suicide Squad. You can catch our full spoilers discussion on this upcoming Tuesday's Apocalypse Now. And we're going to dive deep into everything because there is so much that happens in this movie. Watch it, whether it's HBO Max or you go to your local theater. I don't care if it's IMAX or standard. This movie deserves to be seen. Absolutely. And if you give it a chance, I promise it will not disappoint. Keith would absolutely agree with me. And
100%.
That's all that can be said for now. Non-spoilers, at least. So tune in next Tuesday for Apocalypse Now, the Suicide Squad spoilers discussion deep dive. We'll see you there. Until then, take care.